Hello everyone and welcome to Captain Patriotic. I'm your host Eric, and here at the channel I want to bring to you guys some captivating interviews of some of the bravest warriors in our country to this day, from anyone who served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all the way up to the most recent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Along with these wonderful interviews, I want to bring to you guys some behind-the-scenes knowledge of what led to some of the most historical moments in our nation's history, as well as to give you guys some trivial facts, that you may or may not know about the people that lead our country, the presidents, what led to a certain battle, and even the backstory to some of our famous people of celebrities that might have served in the military. So, let me give you a little information about myself. I just recently graduated from college with a degree in video production, which I absolutely love, by the way, in that I feel like I could get the chance to tell people stories that otherwise would go unheard. And some of those stories are so captivating that they need to be heard and they just never get a chance to. That's why I feel by doing this, I really get a chance to shed the light on those particular individuals that go unrecognized for their heroic actions and different things that occurred in the past. So, like I said, I love telling these people's stories because, they will never get told again if you don't act now. And I've always had a long history of military history in my family. In fact, I've had family that has served in most of the conflicts in our nation's history. In fact, on my grandma's side, she had quite a few people serve in World War I, where, in fact, one of them was a Marine in the final days of the war. Now, take a moment to go back and reflect on that. That must have been gruesome for that individual to go serve in the trenches in an unknown land across the ocean, especially with evolving technology that was coming around that time period in the early 1900s. I mean, it must have been a totally new experience for him to go over there and serve his country in a place he never knew. Well, besides those individuals, she also had family that served in the Second World War as well, both in Europe again, as well as in the Pacific, where, from what I understand, there was another Marine that served in the last year of the war in some of the famous island hopping campaigns in the Pacific. There's even rumored that he was in Saipan or Iwo Jima toward the end of the war. Now that might have been interesting all in itself. And besides the world wars, I've also had a grandpa and an uncle that served stateside in the Air Force during the Vietnam War, as well as other family that served in the Navy and even in the National Guard. So let's just say I'm no stranger to military history, and that's why I find it so fascinating and I have a deep respect for history, because, citizens of our country, we don't ever get a chance to go overseas to a foreign land to see what it was like compared to the culture we have here in the States. And that's why I have a deep respect for veterans and what they go through all the time. Because, unless you're a service member like they are, you really don't understand what it's like to be in the life of a veteran or someone's currently serving, and, of course, what all they have to go through every day to make sure they protect our rights and liberties. That's why I love history so much, and I always had a deep respect for veterans in my family, just, listening to their stories when I was younger. It just gave me more of an appreciation for what walking history we have all around us. In addition to going to college full-time for video production, I also had a lawn care service around where I lived, the one that I had started back in high school, where I had the opportunity to work with quite a few veterans one-on-one myself. And in fact, one of them was a Korean War veteran that I had the opportunity to interview for a class project. Man, you should have heard the stories that this guy was telling me. I mean, it's fascinating what it was like for him to serve in another country at the time. I mean, this guy'd seen all kinds of combat and saw new experiences altogether and a bunch of things like that. And once I finished the project, everyone was fascinated by the way I was telling his story. And ever since then, I've always had in the back of my mind, hey, I need to do this with other individuals, not only for their sake, but for their families to know what all they went through so that they could appreciate more of their family history too. Oh, besides him, I also worked for other veterans too. Two of them were Vietnam veterans, and I also just recently started working for a couple of Iraq veterans myself. So, like I said, I always have a deep appreciation for history, and what I want to bring to you guys is their quote side of the story about serving in our military's armed forces. Not only to compare like what it was like for them to serve during that particular moment in history and how much it's changed over time, but I also want to bring to you guys how it has impacted them overall and what we can do as a country to make it better for them and to make our country better all in itself. So let me ask you, if you guys know anybody, a veteran, somebody currently serving, anyone that wants to tell their story on the channel, I would be delighted to talk with anyone and anybody who's willing and comfortable to tell their stories. And please, leave a comment down in the comment section. Tell me some topics you want me to talk about on the channel. I'm pretty open to anything that you guys are interested in regards to military history. So I hope you guys will enjoy the content of this wonderful channel, and please like, subscribe, and stay tuned in for the next episode. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.